Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trip Around Multiverse with your host, the man who loves jet skis, the personalized water vehicle, Carl Charles, and
the man who's not been visited for 400 years, CY Chung.
And today, in this episode of Trip Around Multiverse, we're going to be reviewing and talking about Marvel's Loki Season 2.
Yeah. Yes. I actually, you know what? I have to say, I enjoyed this. And I didn't feel like it had a huge budget, if you know what I mean. Like, it had budget, right? But location-wise, they were very few, and I like that. I was like, okay,
same.
They're making use of what they got, and they don't need to be... It's not about the money they put in the project.
No.
It's about the characters. Like, they've already built the sets from the first season, probably, or whatever, right?
Even I think this first season, they had more, like, set pieces, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just like, they need the story they're going to tell. They kept it contained within a specific area, you know? Yeah. I say within a specific area. I mean, they're places to go to. However... They use the same locations again and again. And you're like, okay, it makes sense though.
Yeah.
Story-wise, it makes perfect sense, actually.
Yeah, story-wise, yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And I really, really did, I enjoyed Season 1 and 2. I enjoyed both of them. I was like, oh, this is... They have a plan
I'm
where they're going.
interested. See, at the end of Season 2, where they went to, how they got there. And I'm thinking, all right, so how are they getting... this involved in the multiverse saga.
Yeah, I kind of think the same. I was like, how's this? I can see kind of how it fits and how it could be not its own thing, but set on a different world. I mean,
well, the problem is, like, okay, so this story mainly. Here's the thing, right? Sometimes they don't seem to acknowledge the TV series, even though they are actually in the same continuity. Not like Netflix. Daredevil and Luke Cage and all that, where it could be in a different universe, it could be in the same universe. Right? We just, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, don't contradict, but at the same time,
Yeah.
Definitely not like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where it's like, you know what, by season 5, 6, or something, they just are like, all right, the snap happened, but we're going to alternate universe because the movie people ain't telling us what's going on. So
we'll just do our own thing, and I respect them for that.
Yeah, so if these are meant to be actually part of the same cinematic universe, then I mean, it tells the story by itself out, and that's about it.
Yeah,
which is good because nothing's going to contradict it afterwards, and it kind of puts Loki in a position where they can bring him back.
Yeah.
But it's this version of Loki or a version of... I wonder how they're going to do it in the movie for people that haven't seen the TV series.
But I about to say simply expect that people have, but this is a weird
world
where people might not.
It deals with multiverse.
Yeah.
So and variants. So literally, could it just say, "Oh, this is a variant that I'm Loki who has not experienced the
murder of
Thanos." Yeah, exactly. Done, dusted. Move on.
Yeah.
It seems like no one else though will be involved in the movies.
Yeah.
Not to say they die or anything like that. It's just like they wrap themselves, just like when Spider-Man No Way Home kind of wrapped up the Spider-Man saga for everyone who wasn't Peter Parker.
Yeah, like, written you guys off. If we want to use you, we could, but... Yeah.
This is like, well, we've done the story with everyone else except for Loki. We can use... These guys will just kind of lock them in their little... in their little doorway for a minute, and then once the next Avengers movies are done, we let them back out, Yeah,
or they can have like a brief little cameo in a film or whatever, innit?
Yeah. But I what did you think of what's his name? Kang. Not Kang. Victor.
He Who Remains.
Yes.
Or Victor Timely.
Yes. Which he was at the end of he was at the end credits of something.
It was in end credits of. Oh, it was something recent. Wait. It wasn't end credits of season 1 of Loki. What was it?
Was it? Oh yeah, it was Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. That was it.
Which then is like the people that watched that at the end of stayed for the end credits. I was really like, wait a minute, Loki's dead.
Or is he? Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they would
to
have
be fair, they have spanned out advertising for Loki being alive. Well, having a series. However, if you haven't watched the series, you don't know how he ended up being alive.
For some reason, I feel like Loki's one of the shows that everyone did sort of watch because everyone loved Loki from the 4 movies. I think he's one of the shows that people did probably watch.
Yeah, it is. And the series is like an adventure series.
Yeah.
And his character he's the same persona, but evolved into a different type of character.
Yeah.
That's the best way you can put it. Like, he's much less selfish. He learns lessons. He realizes, you know what? Yeah,
he's more of a mature Loki before he died, by Thanos.
Yeah,
but learned how to not be a dick way before that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sort of thing like
which then you can buy him as a sympathetic figure.
Yeah.
Because he's still got the smirking snideness when he needs to.
Yeah. But he knew the power of friendship a lot quicker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. But yeah, I look. I like that. What's his name was in it? The guy who played Ouroboros. Short round. I forgot his name now. Oh yeah, Ki Hui Kwan.
Yeah. I liked his additions. Yeah, I liked him in the cast. Oh, he's cool.
Yeah, and I like what's it called? Owen Wilson. He's his character, right? The way he plays everything is just like, I'm your friend. And then when people call it, say, no, actually, you weren't. Well, he's like, oh, that. No, yeah. When he accidentally came to Ouroboros's not lair, but the library.
Office, yeah.
And then he goes, I haven't seen you for 400 years. Oh, and then Wilson's like, yeah. I remember that the time we went. No, he goes, no. You made the wrong turn. And basically, he turned back and went back to the elevator. And goes, oh. Yeah.
See, what I like about his character as well, it's kind of like he's just there for the ride. He's like, whatever happens, I'm just here, trying to do my best.
Things happen, and he's not like, I'm going to take control of the situation, even though I could, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, hands on your hips, trying to work out what's going on before he calls anyone out, because it's like, I don't know something here. Something is missing.
Yeah, he's not that stereotype character where they just jump into a conclusion. He's like, okay, let me just see how it plays out. Then I will say something rather than, like a tool.
It's like he's when he was saying about when the normal variant of him was trying to shield the jet skis.
Yeah.
And then pretend he knew Loki. Like Loki appears and he's like, oh yeah, I remember you from yesterday, right? And he goes, no, you've never seen me before. Like, oh.
Sure.
Yeah. But I did like as well. The basics of the story is they're trying to find okay. It's a bit of a timey-wimey one because the TVA book that was created by Ouroboros was created by Victor Timely first.
Yeah.
And they kind of have to hand each other their versions of the book.
Yeah.
For it to go around, for them to each hand the other versions back to each other.
Yeah, the snake eating its own self. Yeah. I thought that's what I was like, oh, right.
Yeah.
You guys kind of understand time travel. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like how as well, Sylvie's just like, yo, teleported in the end of episode 1, teleported to a McDonald's, and she's like, right.
I want
everything else. I'm just gonna work here. Which
she
is like
so much.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever worked in a fast food restaurant industry before. I have, and it's just like, well, if life is in that much of a mess, you're like, F that, man. I'd rather work here.
Yeah,
that's something.
Less things to go wrong.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can do is mess up someone's order.
Yeah, exactly. It is true. It is true.
Rather than what was doing before. Get anything wrong, a whole timeline gets wiped out. So
exactly. But I like how everything all the characters they were doing some of them are reluctant to do what they want. Like Sylvie's just like, leave me to work in McDonald's. Jesus, man.
Yeah.
I don't need none of this mess. And then you got the other characters like Renslayer and trying to it is basically a race to who gets to Victor Timely first for the teleportation device. Except that when they get to him, he's a con man, but not.
Yeah.
He's made devices that don't work
on purpose so he can get money. Yeah.
Yeah, to fund the. Then you find out he's trying to get money to actually fund a device that will work.
And I like that. I was like, oh, okay. He's kind of like the nice variant of He Who Remains, who just seems terrifying. But yeah.
What did you think of Jonathan Majors acting as Victor Timely?
At first,
yeah,
I was kind of like, oh, this is kind of like not but like too cheesy. But then once I got to know the characters, like, okay, no, I actually started to warm up to it and like it.
Yeah, I think it's like he went to the extreme Clark Kent level of acting there.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, this is really different from, when he was playing Kang,
or when he plays later on when he's He Who Remains. You're like, oh wow, these are like two different people.
Yeah.
Just happen to look alike.
Yeah. I did like as well at the so all that comes together, and then time kind of Loki's. He throughout the last couple of episodes he does a what time warp thingamajig?
Plays with time, I guess.
I think he kind of like he has time splinters or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's got to get the group together, even though they're very like the time has changed. So he's got to get all the variants, all the original group back together because I like how they tell the story, man. Because Ouroboros is a fictional story writer.
Yeah.
He's been putting his own books in bookstores and then trying to buy the books. So to get notoriety, to get his sales up. I don't know what his end game was, by the way.
Because maybe I was saying, like, at the end, you're still in the loss because you're just spending your own money to buy your books. So it's just like an endless circle that...
Yeah, it's different if, by the way, you were trying to boost sales, yeah?
Yeah.
But that's not what he seemed to be like he's doing. He's like, oh yeah, it's just like he's trying to sell the book to the bookstore person who's trying to scan it and say, yeah. Like, he's trying to shill it, and then they're like, oh, this book can't scan because, for some reason. And then the bookstore, one of the other bookstore ladies says, have you been putting your books on our shelves again? Yeah. He's like, no. And then she brings out like four of his other books.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Yeah. But I did like how they wrapped that around because Loki had been jumping around to different people at this point.
Yeah.
Who forgot their own past.
Yeah.
And so when he jumped to Ouroboros, he was telling AD Doug. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was telling him about the story of how he got there. And then when he finished telling the story, AD Doug's like, oh yeah, okay, so if you do this, that, and the other, and Loki's like, what, you believe me? You what? He goes, and AD Doug goes, I'm a fictional story writer, so anything can happen. Right?
I like that part as well. And then he tried to shill his book to him. He was like, yeah. Oh, this book. Oh, maybe I have a copy I can give you. Oh, it happened to have one. It's like, dude, we get it. We don't want your book.
And then, but then he said, like, he had to do science, quantum physics or whatever he had to do on the side.
Yeah.
To fund his book writing or whatever.
Yeah, and then his wife left. Oh, his variant story was quite hilarious. Oh man, yeah. he's just a loser, really, isn't
he? Yeah. But then that was like, okay. He was like, okay, so you're jumping through time. You need to get and you're jumping to these specific people that are related to the TVA, which but they don't know who they are anymore, right? If that's the case, yeah. So maybe if you get them together, you can create the like a bigger connection through time.
Yeah.
And then you can master your jumps to jump to where you need to jump.
And you're like, oh.
Yeah. I'm like, there are leaps in logic here, but however, it's science fiction to him.
Yeah. So it but then if you want to go to a weird multiverse sort of theory, our science fiction, is another person's reality.
Yeah. So our science fiction is someone else's science facts, right?
Yeah. See, that's meta, man.
Yeah, yes. But it makes sense, right? It's just like, okay, well, if I was writing a story, this is how I'd put it together. And you're like, all right, I get the logic.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Whether when he executes it, it's actually the case that's kind of different, but he does get them all together, and then he was able to master his time jump stuff.
Yeah,
and then they had to get they had to jump back enough through time because they got Victor Timely. He had the device that will help Ouroboros' device.
Yeah,
make a connection through time so time doesn't splinter.
Yeah,
and kill everyone. Yeah. So then Loki had to. He mastered that, and he's like, all right, well, there's a certain point in time that I need. We need information, so I need to jump back to He Who Remains. Yeah, because I think he jumped back enough times, and then he's like, all right, we need to do everything we did quicker. We need to make those connections. We need to get to that point to that point. We need to get Victor Time. We need to put the thing in the thing and we solve our mechanical equation, whatever, right?
Yeah.
He leaps back, and then he's like, "All right, so how long will it take me to learn all this information?" You have like Ouroboros, who's been around for decades, and Victor Timely, right? Science bros. I need to learn all this information in a very short period of time because I can only jump a certain amount, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, he's like, how long would it take? And they're like, decades. It could be centuries. And then he's like,
and then the words come up centuries later. I'm like, okay, wow.
And then you see him just walking everyone through everything at hyper speed. He's like, so you do this, you do that, yeah. We get, come on, people.
Yeah, like, wow.
Don't forget to do this, don't forget to do that. And then when they actually get it all together, and they get Victor Timely to connect the device, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
He's like he's just sitting down going, because I can do it all this time wasted, right? Is one bit, is a part of it. The other time is like, why isn't it not working though? Everything was right.
Like, I spent centuries.
Yeah,
I've gone through this scenario like a million times at this point.
Yeah,
I just thought, wow, it's that thing when they say about insanity, you know.
Yeah, but he did make it in the end. Yeah. I mean, no, he did get it all right. It's just that they didn't. When it didn't work, he was asking Ouroboros, why didn't it work? What was going on? And it turns out the time loom or whatever they didn't.
It's a failsafe.
Couldn't withhold the infinite amount of timelines there were.
Yeah, which they've created.
Yeah. And so Loki kind of slips back to where Sylvie killed
End of
He Who
season
Remains.
1, basically. Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm like, he's jumping back to get more information. Like he's jumped out a bit far, right? But he needs to he's got to get information from the only guy who has that information.
Yeah.
Except that Sylvie keeps on trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at one point, where Loki just he's trying to talk her down, but she never take her eye off the ball at any point.
She's committed to the cause. Yeah.
Yes. And so you just see him go through the motions at one point, like go through the action motions. It's like, oh, Jesus. Right? Why are we doing this so many times? Can you imagine, man?
Like, he's just reliving the same things over and over and over and over.
Yeah,
again.
and he's like, he knows, right? He knows that he could kill Sylvie and get it done with.
Yeah.
But he knows he also can't.
Yeah, because he can't, because he loves her.
Well, yeah, I think it's also because as far as character progression is concerned.
Yeah, he's doing it for them. He's friends. Yeah.
Yeah. Or he doesn't take the easy way out. There are other ways, you know. There are different options to save
Loki,
everyone.
he just killed everyone, and I'm like,
Yeah, exactly. He would have killed Sylvie, then he would have got the information from Who Remains, killed him, right?
Yeah,
and then
realised, oh no, I've messed up and I can't go back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Growth.
Yeah, and then he finally slams the table slams his hand on the table of He Who Remains to say, why is it you never get involved in any of these times that I tried to save you? And then he just freezes time to He Who Remains. He's like, what? All this time you could have done that?
Like, yeah, well, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And then he goes, then he's like, do you basically He Who Remains basically says, well, Loki, I've known you come back for many a time. And he's like, I'm onto you, boy. I'm onto you. And then I think Loki also masters the time manipulation. Like, He Who Remains has got abilities, by the way.
Yeah.
That I don't know if some variants have and some variants don't have. Because
I think isn't He Who Remains meant to be the final variant? I think.
Don't know. I think that was this version variant. I'm sure some of them have different because they have different costumes, right?
Yeah.
Some of them have different abilities to each other as well.
Yeah.
But it's just like, well, you could have done something so long ago, but you chose to do nothing and get shanked all the time. Why?
Because you've seen it all, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Yeah.
But then, was that his plan all along? It's one. I swear, as he kind of says, like, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Who knows, right? Exactly what he wanted as his own end game, you know?
Yeah. Pun, but yeah.
Yeah, he's He Who Remains. Kang. Well, look, Kang is Kang at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. Or is he? Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Kang just betrayed, like, some of the Kangs betray the other Kangs, and then there's one final Kang who's like trying to. You remember the one?
Yeah.
Jet Li film, yeah.
Yeah.
Even though there's infinite, you and I want to wipe out all them Kangs, right? But I would be surprised if one Kang just be like, okay, if I wipe up the other Kangs, right, I could be the most powerful Kang there is.
But I think that was Kang the Conqueror.
Well, you know, watch when no, I'm saying in the movies when they got to execute. The problem is, of course, if there's a multiverse, in the one, there was only 125 multiverses.
Yeah.
Because if you have infinite multiverses and you got one person killing multiple versions of yourself, you're still infinite, and he's never going to absorb the powers of the singular to become the most powerful one, right? Yeah. According to the law of that movie, anyways, right? Though I can understand, I can see Kang murdering other Kangs just to be the best Kang there is because, you know.
But I think
backstabber's going to backstab, right?
I think that was, if I remember correctly, because I need to watch Ant-Man Quantumania again. But I think that's why he got banished to the thingamajig, the quantum realm, because he was doing that.
Yeah. Well,
I don't think that Kang's dead anyway. But yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But yes. So yeah, Loki decides to. Wait. So yeah, does he jump back to? Speak to more. He jumps back to season 1, where Mobius first speaks to him.
Yes.
And then he's like, you know what? Yeah, okay, they have the conversation, and Mobius clearly thinks this is the Loki that was trying to
murder
take over New York.
Yeah.
And Loki's like, no, I'm a slightly different version of that guy.
I've grown up,
right?
Basically.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, and basically, he asked Mobius's questions about, like, I don't want to say life in general, but that sort of thing, where he's got to get his pep talk and he's got to be like, I know what I've got to do, yeah? You've been a great friend, Mobius. Even though Mobius is like, Mobius, not Morbius.
Yeah.
Jeez. Not Morbius. So just imagine it was Morbius that was talking to him.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and he was like, yeah, I know what I need to do. Just like Kylo Ren, right? When he's talking to Han Solo. Yeah. I know what I need to do, but I haven't got the strength to do it.
Help me. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah, Loki's like, okay. Well, I got to save time. Who would have thought he'd come down to me to save the
multiverse.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Because I was thinking, wait, is it the multiverse? Is it everyone? He's had an adventure, which would affect everyone, right?
Yeah.
But he solved the problem by himself, like within his. The thing is, obviously, something like this can't affect other. Did you ever read the Crisis on Infinite Earths?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know how the red skies went across other tiles that weren't directly involved with Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, kind of like in the TV show, Becoming.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's like the red skies crossover is what they called it, because jokingly, all it did was red skies, and then anyways, so it's like, unless there was like a green sky going across someone else's movie for some reason to say that this actually happened.
Well, we don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that the way that they're releasing the movies at the moment, they probably haven't. Oh well, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. Maybe they'll have it in the next couple of movies where like the skies, there's some signal of something that at the end of this happens across there.
Because realistically, I think if you want to sort of reach, as I tend to do, they kind of happen in Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh yeah.
And I think it might have something to do with the Marvels as well, if I'm honest. Well, as look, they did come out very closely, didn't they? Yeah.
Yep.
Because apparently as well, in this random sidetrack, in season 1 of this Loki, and in Scarlet Witch is something that connects them in there as well. In WandaVision, sorry.
Oh yeah, what was that?
There's a bit with a flash, and if you time on both shows, it's the exact same time.
Okay.
Yeah, but
that could be pure coincidence.
But at the same exact time in both episodes.
Oh well, I don't know. Okay, another sidetrack to that, right?
Yeah.
I believe like this one was done on purpose, right? The Zack Snyder Batman vs Superman, when Superman died in the Ultimate Cut, I believe, it is timed. That's the exact time he comes back in the Zack Snyder Justice League cut.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's why it took so long for Superman to come back. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. That's why we're gonna put movie. Yeah.
Sure.
Anyways, yeah. So yeah. So Loki, he jumps back, speaks to Sylvie a little bit, because he's like, essentially, you come back to kind of kill me, but not.
Yeah.
Because you think that if you do that, it will solve the problem that happened later on. Because you jump back in time. And then it's like, you don't have to do that. So then Loki's like, you know what? Yeah, right. I don't have to do that. So he jumps back, and instead of giving Victor time to do the sequence, which Victor Timely has done for all those centuries, right?
Yep. Died a horrible death millions of times at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, because if he jumps back, right, let's just say, and the whole sequence takes about 5 minutes to do, yeah? That means he jumped back 5 minutes for the entire sequence, times it, an hour, a day, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which means, he so many times, so many damn times.
So many times.
A bit like when the Flash. Okay, so when the Flash jumped back in time in the Flash movie, where it was the Black Flash. What was that version of him?
Black Flash, I guess. I think
the Dark Flash, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And all that time, he was probably in the field for fighting in those Kryptonians for a very limited amount of time, right?
Yeah.
And the exact same thing happens. So he spends decades trying to change everything.
Yeah.
And he must be reliving the same 2 minutes over and over again to age him up to that point.
Yeah.
Even though you'd have thought at this point he would have got all the abilities, by the way.
Yeah.
Why didn't he just run at super speed and just vibrating blade everyone?
Yeah. I guess because he doesn't get I know we're talking about Flash, which is random.
Yeah.
He doesn't really get trained or has the time to actually learn how to use his powers. He's just going with what he knows.
Yeah, and I'd say as well with that version, the younger version, that the Kryptonians could probably not match his speed, but be at a certain speed relative to him.
Yeah.
Because Zod, when Superman turned his head, and Zod kind of caught him as well.
Yeah.
So it probably is not as easy as it seems to do that stuff he did. But as he's getting the kryptonite shards embedded in him, and then using them as blades, you know.
Yeah, a bit much.
To be fair, though, he was trying to save the world that existed, that he lived in.
Yeah.
Right? But that world was going to collapse, anyways.
Yeah, well, it was doomed anyway.
Yeah. I mean, he could never save it because it was going to... If it wasn't destroyed, it would destroy everything else.
Yeah.
So,
paradox. Yeah.
He probably got to the point where his world was destroyed and he came back as well, trying to resolve that. All within that point of time. Anyways. Anyways, back to Loki.
Yes, back to a good thing.
Yeah, so he takes Victor Timely's place and does everything else instead of Victor Timely. And then he starts destroying strands of timelines?
Yes.
I don't know. It was like they were saying that it was the too many multiversal branches, yeah?
Yeah.
So it looked like to me Loki was going in there and he just started wiping out bits of timelines so the loom structure would be able to hold.
But then, wait, what?
Them branching timelines and stuff like that. Yeah. So it seemed to me, when I was watching, I was like, is he sitting there destroying, random branches? Or, so then there's enough, so it's not too powerful for the loom, the device to resolve.
I thought, what I kind of got from it, that he got rid of the Luminite stuff and then create a tree, and he was the essence of the tree. Because when you look at it afterwards, it looks like a tree. Yeah.
So was he not grabbing them and dissipating them? He was grabbing them and absorbing them.
I believe so.
Okay. I for some reason I thought it was he was making them disappear, and I was like, wow, just murdering timelines. All right.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, because it's oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's why you got to see Mobius's variants timeline and all that stuff.
Okay, that makes a bit more. That makes more sense. I was like, okay. I just probably my head was locked onto what they said when they said it's too much for the loom. It's too much. It's too many branching timelines. It's too many. And I was like, okay, all right.
Because I kind of thought, when when him and He Who Remains have that talk, you can either kill your friend, stop the multiversal war, or let her kill me, then the multiversal war happens and more people die. He's like, okay. So I thought, okay, he's gonna become the sort of only TVA? Wait, what are they called? What's the organization called again? The TVA.
Yeah.
He'll be a certain person who's just going around destroying branching timelines. But he is what's fueling all these timelines. Okay, that makes sense.
Well, for some reason, when he went into the thing, right, the whatever you want to say, the wormhole web it was, right?
Yeah.
The time tunnel, whatever.
Yeah.
There's a chair as a throne there.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right.
I was like,
okay.
He finally got his throne that he.
Oh no, it wasn't that. It was just like, why is this random throne here?
Who knows?
Yeah, but I was like, oh, in my head, I was like, oh, mighty convenient, because when they find him, when he finds this variant of Loki in the Avengers movie,
yeah,
he's by himself with no one else in his own TV series around him. So then I need to pay extra people. And I was like, okay. And it can be one of those when they do find him. It's quite simple to just for him to say he's been there for an extended amount of time, and he's a variant of Loki who blah blah blah. You know, straightforward dialogue.
Yeah.
No need to be. Oh, I need to watch that series and that series to get all the information. It's like no, can just tell you what it is, and that's how it is.
On. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or really, realistically speaking, all you need to know is he's a variant of Loki that got trapped at the end of time.
Yeah.
Done. Yeah. Nothing else.
But does that happen to him? I think that in one of the comics or one of his like stories that happens to him.
You know what? I don't know.
Like in a bad way, like he finally got what he wanted, but he doesn't rule over anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I can't remember. It's probably because he's had millions of stories at this point.
Have you seen the Inhumans?
The what?
The Inhumans.
The what?
Inhumans.
I know, I'm joking. No, I haven't seen it. No one has. No, I haven't seen it.
You know what? I know it's kind of funny that you. It's just like what Kevin Feige would say as well. By the way, he'd be like, "The what?" But no, we don't talk about that series.
No,
it never existed. The series that was made to replace X-Men when they didn't have the rights to the X-Men.
Yeah. And then they tried to bring out comics books that would replace the X-Men. Didn't do it either. Yeah.
Essentially, so one of the guys who wanted to take over the throne basically said, got his fortune told and they said basically, yeah, so you'll be sitting on the throne of whatever, with the palace, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the season, 10 episodes or something like that? Anyways,
10 episodes, yeah.
Yeah, he is sitting on the throne with the palace kind of abandoned and destroyed. So it's like, okay, yeah, you got exactly what you wanted, except that you didn't get what you wanted.
What's his name? Was his name Maximo?
I don't know. I just know he was the dude from Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
who was,
I used to know that character's name. I've forgotten now. He's Black Bolt's brother or half brother.
Yeah.
Forgot his stupid name.
Yeah, we pretend the Inhumans do not exist, apparently.
Just like Marvel does now.
Yeah.
Because they're not even in the comics anymore.
Wait, how are the Inhumans related to the Fantastic Four? Johnny Storm went out. I was going to say Johnny Cage, Johnny Storm went out with one of the Inhumans, right?
Yeah, he went out with Medusa's sister.
Yeah.
Crystal, who ends up going out with Quicksilver and have a kid together. Yeah.
Yeah. So you reckon when they do Fantastic Four film, they actually bring the Inhumans again? No. Okay.
Actually, I don't know now because they did give a little nod and wink to the Inhumans in Multiverse of Madness. So,
It's true.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maximus the Mad. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, I did like. Hold on. Let me finish. So then so Loki's at the end of time on his throne with the branch of timelines kind of swirling around him. Ish.
Yeah.
And he has kind of like his horned the classic Loki long horn costume, except that it's black. The what's gold is now black.
Yeah.
And then he's kind of like, yeah.
For some reason, when he walked out into the time tunnel radiation thing, yeah. And then when he was getting hit with all the radiation and his clothes started tearing off, I thought he turned into, was it Richard E. Grant? Was him?
Oh right.
I thought, he turned to him, but he didn't. Yeah, because he looked kind of oldish. But I was like, oh no, that's just.
it would have been kind of cool for him to. So the variants in season 1, when he got hit with the time, like, you know, as you're saying, he's going through that, like, it kind of like, you know, when you get the time echoes and stuff like that, you could just do that where it just like echoes into a different variant.
Yeah.
Until he reaches that point.
Yeah.
And then he becomes back into his normal his Tom Hiddleston variant.
Yeah.
Would have been like, you'd have to pay money for people to be in a scene for like a fraction of a second, but
yeah, probably not the best, is it?
All the money you would have to spend to get them over for costuming, time thinking, the scheduling is like, no, you know what?
Is this worth it? No.
No. But yeah, so yeah, that's where he is, and then the TVA kind of resumes their normal operations, and yeah, they're going to track down the He Who Remains variants, and we didn't mention much of Miss Minutes here.
Oh yeah, she went complete psychopath, but yeah.
What? So she had a hidden program personality after all that time?
I believe so.
Yeah, so she's been rewired to not be a psychopath.
Yeah. What's that about?
Yeah, and
because she had super crazy ex-girlfriend vibes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then
so
we didn't really speak about Renfield either, did we?
Oh no, go on.
Yeah, how obviously
Renslayer.
Yeah, Renslayer. That's it. When she basically betrayed all of the TVA because she was working with Kang, and then you find she has her own little bit like, we need to get to Victor timely first, whatever, and then Miss Minutes gets crazy all ex-girlfriendy, and then says, "I know a secret about you," and then exposes that she helped Kang. Well, sorry, Renslayer helped the He Who Remained get what he wanted, and then he wiped her memory.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, he used me. Oh, so then she went all psychopath as well, and wanted to start a war with the TVA.
Yeah.
By recruiting TVA members who not went rogue, but were too dedicated to the cause and was going around blowing up like timelines. And they was like, you know what, we're not going to join you because we're too committed to like what we're doing. Not that we're too committed. We've sort of seen error of ways, and what you're doing is nuts. So we'll rather die than join you. So then she crushes them, which is like, oh, that's pretty.
Oh yeah. She was like, you know what, heel turn, and I'm completely committed to it.
Yeah, it's like full on, like no turning back now. Sort of like, I'm Anakin Skywalker, sort of like heel turn where, oh, he just killed a few Jedi. No, you killed children too. There's no.
Yeah. That one little kid, Master Anakin.
What we gonna do? Yeah. Bling. Yeah. Oh, Renslayer.
Yeah. But there were a few action sequences in this series as well, and they all had stakes. It wasn't just like, we're gonna have action sequences for the action sequence for the sake of it. It's just like I want to eliminate you, or he wants to kill him, but then it all affects everything else later on if something happens. Because at this point, Loki's jumped back and forth through time. He's like, I know what happens if this goes wrong. I'm going to stop it going wrong. And technically speaking, you could say he doesn't want to go wrong because he wants to survive.
Yeah.
and it's a selfish thing. But obviously he's like, but he's trying to help other people survive as well. And he does sacrifice himself at the end. So
yeah.
And he sacrifices himself going through centuries and centuries of stuff. The same thing.
Yeah, he sacrificed his mental health.
Yes. Which is probably why he decided, you know what, I'm gonna sit in this chair because
this seems easier than what I was doing from before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of true. You know what I mean? Like, it is very true.
But yeah, and at the very end of the episode, like, the TVA. Yeah, the TVA get back to doing what they're doing. Mobius is like, I want to retire. I want to have a look at the life that my variant of this world actually lived, which was, a nice life.
Yeah.
He was selling jet skis and stuff like that in the shop, but it wasn't glamorous.
It wasn't glamorous, but he was looking after his 2 kids. Yeah, he's a single father as well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like he actually, the first time when they jumped to that guy's life, the variant's life, and he's like, "Your son's on wants to speak." He goes, "No, I want to sell this jet ski." Tell him I'll call him back. I'm calling him back. And then he's like, "Your son's calling again." He goes, "I told you to tell him to call him back." And they go, "No, your other son is calling."
I was like, "Oh." And then when you meet his kids, he's trying to set the house on fire.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. The thing is, though, he could come across as deadbeat dad, except that I think Owen's got enough charisma and charm that it's just like, and when he actually is with the children, it's like,
Yeah, he loves them. You could tell you can probably tell he doesn't really enjoy his job, but he's doing it to support his kids.
Yeah, you get that sort of vibe, right?
Yeah.
So like, oh, I'm just gonna forget my kids. I wish they never existed. Blah blah blah. You
could tell he loves them. Oh.
Yeah.
Especially when you see him, when you see Mobius watching them and having a little play fight, and you're like, oh yeah, you can see, he's a great dad.
Yeah. And then that's where Sylvie appears behind him and goes, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna go off and do my own thing. You go. You should.
You should do the same.
Exactly. Have what you couldn't have when you were with the TVA. Yeah. Even though at this point it's a variant, so it's just like, what exactly? What could I do?
Yeah. Do I erase him where you gonna become him? Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like, what are you implicating?
Yeah. This is weird.
But the thing is I think what can he do? Does he just? I think the TVA at that point was where, as a variant, where he could be.
Yeah. Without
having to worry about other stuff, and in season 1 what they were doing to variants as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What's he gonna? Is he just gonna go travel different dimensions, or what exactly is he gonna do?
I don't know. I reckon he'll probably go back to TVA. But
yeah. Well, that's when he was like, I was like to myself, okay, if he retires from TVA, what is he going to do? Because he can't really go around and do stuff. Unless he's just going to live just live out a part of it, live out part of his existence somewhere and then, see how that goes.
Yeah. Who knows?
Even though, he'll have depending on what timeline he's going to be in, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, anyways, so then, and then you see the last shot of Loki. He's kind of having a smile, on his face.
Like, friends, yeah,
because he's like, well, the thing is, I'm like, so is he watching these?
He must
be. Is he watching them? From where he is in the mod? Is he got the thing like what's his name? What was Idris Elba in Thor?
Heimdall.
Yeah. Does he got Heimdall vision now that he's in the in the time wormhole wherever he is?
Yeah, because he's kind of mastered time, so I guess so.
Yeah.
Heimdall. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, but very enjoyable series.
Yeah.
It's self-contained. It keeps to itself. It explains the lore.
Yeah.
And it follows the rules.
Yeah.
It's not like where in Endgame they say something, right? Or in Endgame they talk about time jumping and stuff like that, right? But to be fair to them, they don't know how it works.
No.
So they don't say this is concrete.
No.
Exactly what everything is. It's just like, by my theory, which could be wrong, this is what happened.
I like how they kind of say it as well. It could be wrong, so
yeah,
plot hole somewhere, but we don't know ourselves. So hey, okay,
yeah.
Which is a good way to do it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, But they set the rules within the story. I'm not gonna say the universe because some could contradict in the Marvel universe somewhere, right? And things have already been contradicted.
Yep.
Between people's own movies, right?
Yeah.
So whatever they set up within the story, they follow those rules. So it's like, okay, everything they did makes sense. all the execution makes sense, and the characters like they're compelling enough. Like everyone's put effort into it. Like I believe what my character is doing.
Yeah.
or I believe when my character makes a turn, his realization is, or her realization is,
there's conviction behind him. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So it doesn't have a huge cast either.
No,
like the
really,
key characters, I'd say. It's one of those things where you think about after, they're like, actually, they didn't use a lot, right?
No.
On purpose. But they did a lot of things.
Yeah. Because realistic, it's only Mobius, Loki, Sylvie, B-15.
Yeah.
Obarias.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. And kind of that guy, Casey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
obviously timely and
and Ouroboros and He Who Remains.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so there was 6 episodes long.
Yep.
But realistically, I think each episode was about 45 minutes ish.
Yeah, I'll say about that. Yeah, 45 minutes, maybe 1 or 2, maybe like nearly 50 minutes. But yeah.
Yeah, excluding credits, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like really. I thought personally is actually for something that's roughly about 3 hours long. I'd say.
Yeah.
Hold on, was it 3?
No, more than that.
About 4 hours?
Say about 4, yeah.
4.5?
Yeah, about 4.5. If the math is correct, yeah.
Yeah. It was a quick watch.
Yeah, didn't outstay his welcome or anything like that. No.
Yeah. Did you think it needed to go any longer? Six episodes was about right?
6 episodes about right.
Yeah.
I think any longer, otherwise started like getting into recap territory, so episode
or filler, now obviously we've seen like the Flash and Smallville and all that stuff, and you could be like blatantly some of these episodes are just filler episodes. They might be cool, they might be neat because you've seen this particular villain, blah blah blah, but it's just like this doesn't progress the actual backstory, like the beast, like the main story plot. Yeah.
She's like, oh, okay.
So, I like that these are only like 6. Well, I like that there's a certain time limit on them.
Yeah.
She-Hulk was like half an hour episodes, and there were like 9 of those.
Yeah. But
so
that's weirdly though. That kind of because of how She-Hulk was, that kind of them being half an hour fit the type of show it was.
Yeah. But what I'm saying
being 45 minutes, 50 minutes kind of fits the way this show is as well.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think they make use of the time that they're given, right? Even though like it's broadcast on Disney, so it's not like, for example, if it's on like actual TV and they've got to have breaks, they've got to fit in a specific amount of timing, and episodes got to be roughly about 40 to 42 minutes.
Yeah,
it's like they could be as long as they need to be.
Yeah.
And god damn, 7 minutes like of credits. Jeez.
Yeah, but
but yeah. So,
but you see the credits for the last episode, they're freaking good. Because I thought there might be something at the end, even though it wasn't, and I was like, this is
which surprised me, by the way.
Yeah, same. I guess because Loki's done, I guess for now. Anyway.
Well, probably if they do too close to the when the Marvels comes out in cinemas.
I don't think.
But they didn't even need to do end credits for Marvels. They could have just moved this. They could have done something else.
Yeah, but I think only because I think because like I guess there's not going to be a season 3 of Loki, so it's like what can we sort of tease?
Oh, you think okay? So when I was saying before, how this wraps up everyone's storylines that isn't Loki. You think this genuinely did that on purpose because they're not going to be a season 3, and that's that.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, maybe I was thinking they're just going to keep them there, so when Loki comes back, they can continue that, right? But you're legit saying, nah, it's done, it's dusted. Oh, okay. Would you like to see season 3?
I don't know, because I don't know what they would do with it.
Okay. not taking that into account, right? Would you like to see another series of Loki doing stuff like this? Not necessarily TVA stuff, but I'm talking about a little kind of side adventure series or something.
Not really, because I mean, he's kind of like his characters come full circle. Like it's not full circle, but like it's had his ending. Like he's had his beginning, middle, and end. It's like what does he do after that? But it just becomes like a cheap, just imitation of what used to be.
All right.
That's
you don't think there's going to be another series, and you wouldn't like there to be another series?
Nah.
Okay. But you would watch another series if there was one?
Yeah, I'd watch another series. Like, if they could bring a good explanation why there's another series, and like, okay, cool. But how they kind of ended this is like, you have no reason to sort of make another series unless something happens in this Secret War stuff that kind of justifies it.
That's a good point. I like series that don't have to do anything to do with the main story and they're self-contained or whatever. So I would like to see another series because it gives the character more evolution. But you know what I have to say as well? The other thing is, because I guess they don't have the budget, or maybe the expenses, all the stuff that Loki could do in the movies, the illusion casting and all that stuff, he doesn't have those peak abilities here.
No, money-wise, isn't it?
Which I was like, okay, fine.
Because he's out of. Well, they kind of explain why he can't do it.
Yeah.
Because of the TVA's headquarters have that magic dampener thing on it.
Yeah. I mean, they power him down, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
And obviously, the big budget stuff you can't do. So they also like saying to people, "Yep, we can't really not going to be doing all that crazy stuff." But then look, it's also like I was saying before, it doesn't affect the main whatever movie storyline, and it's self-contained, so it's just like the story based here, which I think sometimes is good.
Yeah.
If you're having a lot of series, it doesn't need to affect everything, and not everyone needs to affect everything else. Not everything needs to. Even though this was the end of the multiverse, and there was loads of stakes and stuff like that.
Yeah. Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, you can have that little stories that don't have those massive stakes,
Yeah. But I don't know. With a character like Loki, I don't think you can, because of how they sort of built him up in like popularity wise and stuff like that. I don't think you kind of can do that. He sort of has to be connected with it at some point. But hey.
Well, yeah. I suppose. I mean, it's one of those things. So if you do Loki series, which is funny because you'd be like, okay, you'd expect him maybe some Asgardians involved or whatever. No, none of that. No. This is like a Doctor Who-ish kind of like space and time story that doesn't involve any of the Asgardians.
Yeah.
Even though that's the world he comes from. Like, all right, okay, fair enough.
That's true, innit?
Yeah. I did like how they when they went back to find Victor Timely, they had the wood carvings of Thor and Odin, and
Balder.
They had Balder, and he's like, who knows Balder? Who the hell knows who Balder is?
Yeah.
I
like how they dressed that. I was like, oh, that's quite funny.
Yeah, and then Mobius is like, yeah, I know him, Balder the Brave. Like, shut up.
You liar.
Yeah, Loki wasn't having it. He was like, logically speaking, it would be a statue of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for the jokes, I get why they didn't do that. And yeah, of all people, how much do you know about your actual Norse mythology?
It kind of gets like mixed up with some of the Marvel mythology, because I know that Balder is Thor's brother.
Yeah. I would see. Here's the thing, right? For some reason, based on my Marvel Norse mythology, which is wrong.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so Loki is Thor's younger brother. No, Loki is Thor's uncle.
Yeah.
And Balder is not Balder the Brave. He's Balder the Beautiful.
Yeah. Or if you're going by God of War mythology, he is a guy who can't feel pain.
So wait. So God of War mythology. What is his? What is he called? Balder the what?
It's just called Balder. It's just Balder.
Okay.
And his mum didn't want him to feel the harshness of life, if I remember correctly. So she gave him the ability to feel no pain. So then he became a dick. Because he can't feel pain. Oh.
Okay. That's
okay. Sure.
That's a lot of different.
Yeah.
That's a different take. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Rip his head off, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, but I tell you what's also funny is like Balder wasn't even in the movies.
No.
Which is why Loki's even more. It's like, so all the time in the movies, they went to Asgard.
Yeah.
And Balder didn't even make an appearance, and then it just makes it like rub it in the salt of the wounds of Loki even more, because not only this guy was not mentioned anyway in his universe, right?
Yep.
He suddenly gets a statue.
Yep. He's in this universe. He's well known and loved. Yeah. Oh, Balder. Poor guy. He was king of Asgard for a while, and then he got killed. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You know what? Do you think they'll make a Thor 5?
I don't know. Maybe.
Do you think Balder's make an appearance there with Hercules?
Maybe.
Or if they don't make a 4-5, whatever they're gonna do, how are they gonna put Hercules into the like, unless Hercules has his own movie?
I don't know about
but there'd have to be something. I don't know.
Yes, I'm trying to think of a reason how they could make Hercules his own movie.
Well, it's not that. It's just like Hercules in the Marvel Universe comics is a bit of a dope.
Yeah, he was
He's
for
a bit of a bro.
Then they tried to make him kind of less of a joke recently, isn't it? I'll say recently.
Yeah. So yeah, I suppose they could wrap it all around where having like the other gods that they have ish.
Yeah, the other
whether they're gonna
gods,
use. Yeah, I don't know if they're gonna. I mean, look, if it was DC, they could have just made a New Gods movie and or Fourth World or something like that, right? Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna, because they've got. Unless Loki gets this movie, his own movie, which if he's getting a TV series, not likely. Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna. Oh, unless they do Beta-Ray Bill.
Yeah.
But then, how do you get to his movie without having Thor in it? To pass to get Stormbreaker in there somewhere first.
I don't know. I was thinking you could sort of somehow through Guardians of the Galaxy, but I don't know.
Unless, of course, in one of the Avengers movies, Thor gets his hammer passed down to Beta-Ray Bill, or I don't know. But then you'd have to essentially introduce a character. That'll be a main character.
But then
out of nowhere,
daughter get the hammer.
Exactly. So, yeah, I don't know. Though, would you like to see? I know we're going side tangent here, but would you like to see Beta-Ray Bill in the MCU? Okay.
Maybe.
Well, here's the thing, right? I don't think is it necessary to have Thor and Beta-Ray Bill. You could have one or the other, but I don't think you need both.
Yeah. Well, you could have both if you did it kind of how they did in the comics, where hey, Thor, you deal with sort of earthly stuff. Beta-Ray Bill, you're off doing weird stuff in space with the Guardians and stuff like that. So that's
we could have a Beta-Ray Bill movie and maybe have Thor have a cameo or something like that. But then Thor just kind of gets confined to the Avengers movies or whatever, right? Yeah.
That way I think you can.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the human horseman that is Beta-Ray Bill. That's going to be one funky character for them to yeah. Anyways. What were your thoughts on overall of the Loki season 2 TV series?
My thoughts overall were very positive. I highly enjoyed it. I like the random little "if you know, you know" reference in it with the McDonald's that Sylvie was working in.
Yeah.
You know where that was?
No, wait.
So remember, there was a point where Asgard, for some reason, was in Oklahoma in Brexton?
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's where that's where the McDonald's she was working in.
Oh, right. Yeah. I see.
That's a good little reference there for people who know. Huh.
Yeah.
That's cool. Oh. Yeah, I liked it. I still think the whole concept of like Kang and his variants is quite scary when I think about it now.
I like how this added more to the Kang, the multiversal backstory of Kang, without adding too much that can be
confusing, like his comic book version.
yeah, and they can choose to ignore it or actually accept it in the MCU.
Yeah.
You know, in the actual and the cinematic part of the universe, it doesn't really matter because it doesn't. You know, it's like, okay, this happened to this variant of Kang, and like in Ant-Man and Wasp, that variant of Kang, you know, so it doesn't affect the whatever other Kangs that come along.
Yeah. It was quite. Then he mentioned it. Oh yeah, they had a run-in with a Kang variant on Earth 616 adjacent realm. I was like, oh, that's
and I was like, are they still calling the cinematic universe 616? Because that's not what it is.
No.
However, I was like to myself, okay, fair enough, yeah. That's not what they call the 616, right? That's not what we, the comics version, call the movie version 616, yeah?
Yeah.
However, the movie version doesn't know what confinement it is, so it can call itself whatever it wants to call itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. A bit like when, so, DC Comics, Kingdom Come Earth is F22, yeah?
Yeah.
But in the CW verse is F96. Yeah. DC normal Earth is F1, except that CW Earth is calling itself F1, right? Pre-crisis, and then Smallville called itself F1 as well. So, yeah. You know, your universe, you just assume it's whatever, right? But it's like, I can get that how some people, they just decide, they name their that universe's version of those characters and name that universe that specific universe, right? But what I don't get is when Mysterio said, "My Earth is whatever. Your Earth is 616," and he's like, how did he magically get the number correct? Because it actually does not come from the universe, and other people seem to confirm it. That the cinematic universe is 616. So it's like, wait a minute.
But Mysterio did say it as a joke.
He what?
He said it as a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, if he, but then what the Christine in the Doctor Strange movie said that that version of Doctor Strange came from 616. So it's like, huh? Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things, right?
Yeah.
But then again, also, it's one of those things where they mess up with the Spider-Man Homecoming 8 years later thing at the beginning, right?
Yeah. Didn't it recently change that as well, apparently?
Is it?
Yeah, in some Marvel book that came out recently, they changed
Oh,
that.
no, so you're saying the edition, I thought you meant they changed it in all the editions of the movies.
I don't know. I think some book, because I remember I saw this the other day. I didn't read too much into it. I couldn't be bothered. That they changed that because they realized that was a mistake.
Yeah.
And then I didn't bother to read anything else. I
was like, look, it doesn't matter if they change it in the official guidebook. The movie itself needs to be changed.
Well, they probably could, because it's not said, is it? It's just like it's written somewhere, right?
It's written at the beginning of the movie, 8 years later or something.
Just, Disney Plus, they can really just like swap out that frame, put in a.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why they just don't though.
Time, man. Well, I just hope everyone can't read, so who knows.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, overall, yeah, I really liked it. I felt sorry for. I liked seeing Loki grow as a person, and I respect his noble sacrifice, and that he made friends. Yeah, it was good.
Yes.
Power of friendship, you know.
Yes. So I'd recommend people to watch it. Yeah. What do you prefer season 1 or 2?
I like them both as equal. Because I like all the crazy stuff they did in season 1, but I liked all the grounding sort of stuff they did in season 2. So
yeah. And I think it's easier for season 2 to get things up and running and going.
Yeah.
Because it kind of it's like, right, so this is a story we need to tell, and we need to set the rules up, and then we go from there, you know? Not more of the stop and search kind of bits in number 1, where it's like, okay, pause here to explain this.
Yeah. Because
there's a lot of stuff to get to catch the viewer up on.
Yeah.
Or, you know, a lot of ground rules to lay down and stuff like that. This is like, that's that. This is this, and we're going to tell our story around this particular bit, which is like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. It's very good.
So double thumbs up from you, yeah?
Yes, double.
Even though you're saying you don't think there'll be season 3, and you wouldn't,
and I wouldn't want one. So yeah.
Yeah, but that's but you're not seeing that as a negative, because you're
no,
where do they go and where can they go? That's your problem.
That's how I see it. Yeah, it's like, where do they go?
Oh, okay. All right. So that concludes our review of Loki season 2.
Yeah. Loki, Marvel's Loki season 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
Yeah, I'm the the animated clock girl with a psycho hidden program within me, CY Chung.
And I am the genius man who stutters, Carl Charles. And thank you for listening to us talk about and review Loki, Marvel's Loki season 2. What have you seen it? And what did you think of it? What was your favorite part? Did you like the new addition of 2 characters? 1 character? No, what? 2. No, 1 new character, basically. And do you think there'll be a season 3, or do you think, Loki's story is done? He can go about and live his merry life sitting on a throne, wishing he had his friends. And you can let us know by leaving us a comment if you watch us on YouTube, or you can leave us a message or a tweet or whatever if you're listening to this on the audio realm. So don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. All our handles are in the description because they're very long for me to say. And until next time, guys, I'd like to thank you all for taking a trip with us around the multiverse. Bye. And also, don't forget to go and find your variant and obliterate them. Right. Bye.